sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Let me hit the button here. And then when I do that, why don't you take us in, talk to us, Zath, about the KSC lineup here as we spawn into Warrior's Path.
All right, welcome everybody to day 3 of Warship Masters Invitational. We are working our way, I believe this is the losers bracket right now from last weekend. And you'll be seeing a few losers bracket games and a winners bracket game today. And then, of course, the tournament concludes tomorrow. So this is a best of 3 on Warrior's Path. KSC has Sate in a Holland. I need to turn on... Come on. There we go. There he is in the Holland. He's got unique upgrade. We saw that being used last weekend to great effect. In one case, and not so great effect in another. Curious George is in a Grozovoy. We've got Raiden Shogun in a Lu Shun. It's Blitz in a Venezia without the unique upgrade. Interesting. Same thing with Quicksilver. Another Venezia without unique upgrade. King Viper in a unique upgrade Hindenburg.
Interesting choice. Okay.
Finally Aegis Wings in a Petri. Unique upgrade Hindenburg, right? It doesn't burn as much, doesn't flood as much. The rudder gets fixed pretty quick. But you lose out on concealment.
It's meant to make the ship more survivable. In random play, my experience is it doesn't do a whole lot because they just shoot you with AP and dunk you.
Right.
But in this format, Zath, right? Battleships are expensive. You can expect more. You're more likely to burn out. There probably is some value in that upgrade. I'll be curious to see how it works out for KSC.
Yeah.
Opposing them on the south spawn in the red, ATFD. This is one of our, I'm going to get it wrong. I forget if it's China or Asia. Zath, isn't this China?
Asia. This is Asia.
Asia. This is Asian team. All right, excellent. Fielding their own triple destroyer lineup, we're looking at Ride On Don't Swim's Regalo, Attilio Regalo going for max range. We're seeing more and more of this kind of build. I'm going to have to start looking into this one myself. I have been struggling mightily with Regalo of late. Backed up by Sayuki's Yu Yang. This is indeed a radar Yang with, I won't say full torpedo build, but a heavy torpedo build on modules and not so much on the skills. Latest world's HMS Defense. We have Palmano's Venezia. Now, this Venezia is a unique upgrade, Zath. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, Yoru's Reguloria. And then 2 ships headed over to A. Usagami's Clausewitz. Range and outnumbered, very clearly playing that ship on the outnumbered flank, and Yichu's Tromp running the Dazzle there.
Yeah, and going for maximum Dutch oven with the that upgrade in slot 4.
Indeed.
All right, so you wanted to talk about the Venezia upgrade, sir?
Yes, refresh my memory, Zath. What does unique upgrade do for Venezia?
Unique upgrade gives you, it basically allows you to smoke much quicker. It gives you an extra charge, if I remember correct, and it also increases the cooldown speed, so you can spam it more frequently.
Okay.
I'll double check on the exact wording for you in just a moment.
Okay,
one thing I want to point out.
It's not that critical. Go ahead.
One thing I want to point out too is latest world's defense. I don't know if you noticed, he's got Pack a Punch on his defense. And remember, that ship's got the funny British torpedo, right? That you know, just kind of meanders into eventually settles on a direction and does so much damage. So now he does what, 20% more damage with that stupid funny torpedo?
Oh, did he take the? He took the skill.
He took Pack a Punch.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yep.
As you see him there trying those torpedoes off his port side.
Yep, and his secondaries also reach a little bit farther up, but you don't take that for secondaries in the defense. The Venezia, a unique upgrade, 2 additional exhaust smoke generator charges. 2, not 1, apologies. Reduces exhaust smoke generator consumable cooldown time from 180 seconds to 81 seconds, which of course gets further reduced if you've got the, consumable specialist, which he does not have. But yeah, I mean, look at that. 5 charges, and that's in place of the concealment module.
Yeah. Well, speaking of concealment, the Regulo, that's right on, already starting to work in on Quicksilver's Venezia, using Sayuki here as a spotter. King Viper's Hindenburg playing much closer into the B cap. They're using the Venezia kind of as a, I would say a stalking horse, but that's not correct. More like bait, I suppose, really. As now the Reguloria opens up with his SAP in the back.
Yeah, and that can really hurt.
It can add up in a hurry. He doesn't get much out of that salvo. You can see a lot of those shells ricocheting off Venezia's deck. I cannot remember Venezia's deck armor off the top of my head, Zath, but it's obviously enough that some of this SAP is not that effective. At least the small caliber SAP out of the destroyer over there.
Right. Quicksilver now using his Inky, trying to kite on in, and it looks like they're trying to pull the Regalo, Yu Yang, and them up into a crossfire with Aegis Wings Patri, who just took a big hit there from the Loria.
Yeah, solid salvo, sneaking it through the island there, about 15K.
Well, now that superstructure is saturated. It took some damage there. But Aegis Wings doesn't know. He doesn't know that there's a Yu Yang looking right at him.
No, he doesn't. Now, those torpedoes, Zath, we were having this conversation last weekend, right? I was reminded that torpedo detection off of hydro is different than ship detection.
Correct.
So even though those deep water torpedoes are well within inside the hydro bubble, they may not necessarily get picked up. Although I'm seeing Aegis maneuver, obviously either he has an inkling or somebody's figuring out something there. We'll see.
Well, his whole position was to get into a kite away, which is what he's doing. The Yu Yang, Tsuyuki, also has radiolocation. So if these guys, Quicksilver, I'm sure, and Aegis are communicating and saying, hey, you know, I'm located. Okay, now I'm located. All right, where's this person going to be then? So they can kind of triangulate that location.
Look at this torpedo. Oh, he still made. He only takes one. Almost snuck through it all. Well done. So obviously, the big ATFB push coming up the 8-9 line here as KSC reacts. They leave the Holland, the Venezia behind to hold A, bringing everybody back over. Remember, they don't have any radar in this lineup. They have no way to spot Sayuki's Yang once he's in the cap.
So I want to point out something, too. KSC grabbed the A cap while we were talking about what's going on the other side. Blitz went in with this smoke and just took it for free. And now they just have to hold it. So that's a good positioning for them as Latest World is forced to go forward in his defense. He might take a Lushun torpedo here.
Looks like he's going to take at least one of these, maybe? No, he found a way through. Well, they got one deep water torp. They got one deep water torp into King Viper's bow as ATFD does pick up the cap here. Sayuki's Yang, the only radar ship in the game, now using his radar to pick up Raiden's Lushun on the far side, as the Regularia and defense salvos come in on the Lushun.
Time to pop that heel. Remember, Lucian's got that slow ticking heel that lasts forever. So as soon as you start taking hits, you want to pop that heel button. Yep.
Radar expiring. Shogun taking a little bit of damage there, but nothing catastrophic.
No, he'll be okay.
They reset one of his torpedo tubes briefly, I think, but it's still in action. He didn't lose it. As now Curious George's Grozovoy also coming in to help speed up this cap. Remember, guys, 2 ships means that the cap will occur just that much quicker. So they're trying to speed that up as the Trump. Look at the balls on. Look at the balls on Yichu's Trump trying to make a play here for A.
Yep, I'd already tabbed on over, or moved on over to the side as we saw the A cap starting to get flipped. Venezia leaving the area though. Blitz isn't. He's okay, but he's got 40 seconds till his next heel, so he's got to just kind of try to weather the storm a little bit.
Well, they're going to lose this cap, Zath. It feels like they backed off a little too far.
Agreed.
Venezia versus Clausewitz. Oh my goodness sake, getting hammered by the Clausewitz HE. Dunked by the bombs. Still on fire.
He might go out right here. Yep.
He is going to go out, Zath. They're going to get him. He's going to burn out.
2 big kills for ATFD.
At the same time, they finally whittle down Quicksilver on the other side of the map. So KSC reacting well to the push up the 8-9 line, but maybe overextending a hair trying to defend A, not able to make it work.
One of the hardest things with playing that Holland, because the unique upgrade does enhance your ability to heal. It's easy to say, okay, well, I can take more hits than I would normally want to take. And I think that's probably what happened to that Holland right there.
Yeah. Yeah. He got into the gunfight with the Trump and was actually winning at one point, but it felt like Ix wasn't able to support him quite as well as he might have liked from behind that island, and I think ATFD took advantage of it.
Yeah, as soon as Blitz went behind the island, the Clausewitz was able to finish the deal. So the Holland gets increased HP recovery efficiency from 50% to 75%. So his heal is 25% better, essentially. Or actually, well, technically 50% better, right? You're going from 50 to 75. That's a 25% bump. And then the ship's maximum speed is 8%, is increased by 8%, while the engine boost is active, and all consumables gain additional charge. So yeah, you're taking that for longevity on the battle, and you're taking that to heal just a lot more than you normally would.
I gotta say, Zath, if I am Tiger's Hindenburg, I am not very comfortable. Viper's Hindenburg over there, I'm not comfortable. I mean, he just got smashed again, but that defense just stalking him there with 65,000 hit points and those crazy torpedoes, like, ugh.
The last thing that you want to do with the Hindenburg is put it in a place where it gets stuck. And that's what they've done with the Hindenburg. I mean, I understand the idea of you can hydro around the island at 6 kilometer. That's cool. They know where the defense is. That hasn't had an impact on this game. As a matter of fact, the defense still killed the Venezia despite that knowledge. So the problem with the Hindenburg being there is he's just going to get whittled down and killed over time.
Speaking of Venezia, have a look at Ix.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching him.
Having to push into the A-cap to slow the timer down. We were getting very dangerously close to an ATFD win, and now he's basically having to just sit in here and hope the Clausewitz doesn't murder him. But that's going to happen here, and briefly as his heal is about to just, well, he's also almost his last heal.
Yeah.
He does get good damage in there, though.
Yeah, but now that the Trump is going to get on this as well. Sap does good things against, Clausewitz and Hindenburg, but it's just not enough. 40 seconds. It was
kind of a last-ditch play there as the defense torpedoes do come around and claim Vipers. Actually, the shells get him. The torpedoes, I think, just forced him to maneuver. Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
I saw that.
They just nuked the defense. Was that the Patrie?
That was the Patrie. Yes, a little too late for that time extension for that.
Yeah.
And so,
feels
unfortunately, go ahead.
Go. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Unfortunately for KSC, it's too little, too late, and that's the end of game 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like maybe they made the decision to push the defense a little too late, but really tight play from ATFD there, Zap. There's a part of me that looks at that lineup that they ran, right? The Trump and the Clausewitz, right, on the A flank, and thinks these guys almost, you plan for the other team to react. You know they're going to see the push. You know they're going to be forced to react to what you're doing. And then these two guys left behind on this flank are able to do amazing things, and they did. Right? That was. I wish I should have spent more time over there watching, Zath, because it feels like they just did a really good job of coordinating getting the Holland off the board, and that was a huge kill for them.
Absolutely. Like I said, the deal breaker was when the Venezia was forced behind the island. When that happened, both guns on the Holland was on fire, unable to go dark, just took punishment after punishment after punishment, gone. So, very good play by both teams. ATFD outplaying the pair on that kite side for both teams. It is what it is. And just a reminder, this is technically losers bracket 2.4. Is what we are looking at.
Yep, technically we are in the losers bracket. The teams in this part of the bracket either did not seed high enough on day 1 or fell into this portion of the bracket on day 2 by losing a match. So teams in this portion of the bracket do have the opportunity to fight their way back and play in the grand finals at the end of the event, but it's a very long road between here and there.
Yeah, so just so you all are aware of kind of what we have chosen for you all to watch today, we are starting with 2.4 losers bracket, ATFD versus KSC, sorry. Whoever wins this and whoever wins 2.3 will advance to losers bracket 3.2, which Warships Main and a few other streamers have signed up for. Raptor and I chose to try not to follow them this time around, so we are going to bring you losers bracket 3.1, which will be Resin RSTC, the winner of that, and JNMJ and them, the winner of that. That's what we picked, isn't it?
Yes,
like
you're 100% right. No,
okay.
You're right. I'm just nodding along. You're
okay.
We like you said, we specifically went out of our way today to avoid the main cast, so we're not overlapping with them and their 8 cameras, eating up a bunch of slots.
Right.
Wargaming did. If you guys were here last Sunday, we didn't really have this problem on Saturday, but we did on Sunday. You'll recall that we had some issues packing everybody into certain games, right? We're at a stage of the tournament where there can be basically any given round, there's no more than 4 games running, right?
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes, as you get later in a round, there's only maybe 1 game running. Literally, if you've got 4 matches and 3 of them go 2-0 and only 1 of them goes to game 3, everybody piles into the match that is still being played, of course.
Correct. Now, go ahead, finish your thought.
And I was going to say, so last weekend with only 20 spectator slots, it was a congestion problem. Wargaming has hopefully corrected it this weekend. We have double that number of slots, so it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll keep an eye on it. Go ahead.
So after we cover Losers Bracket 3.1, you'll note that there are 3 matches going on concurrently. TWA versus Reign in the Winners Bracket Final. Warships Main and many other people have signed up for that. ELSR versus whoever wins 3.1, the one that we're covering. And that's where we're going to move on to. We're going to bring you Losers Bracket 4.1. And then TSYMQ versus whoever wins 3.2. All 3 of these matches will be occurring at the exact same time. With all due respect to Reign and TWA, Raptor and I both kind of felt like we kind of know how that's going to end up, and exactly, we're going to see them again anyways.
You're going to see them tomorrow, guys. So we're like, you know what? Let's do other things today, and then we'll get a good look at Reign and TWA tomorrow with everybody else.
Right. Plus, a lot of times when there's the official cast, there's delays because they're trying to finish up what they need to finish before they allow the game to drop. So that also means there's a good chance that Raptor and I will bring you an extra game after our scheduled matches. And that could be TWA versus Reign, could be TSYMQ, we'll have to see. So, be prepared. Now, ATFD... one of the reasons I picked ATFD for this Raptor, I don't know if you know anything about the teams. We mostly know the NA teams, right? But the team ATFD, I noticed has a Singaporean flag in it, which is kind of exciting for me because my mom was from Singapore. So
that's right. We talked about that briefly last week, I think. Yeah.
So I'm trying to find it on the page, but
still on my list of awesome places that I want to visit. Haven't been down to that part of the world just yet.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth checking out if you get a chance.
Now, one thing we may want to highlight, Zath, is I'm looking at the point screen here. Okay, one of the things,
there it is.
if you're coming into today's event and you haven't watched previous days, you might be a little confused as to why some of these teams are fielding the lineups they are. The way that Warship Masters is configured, the way the rule set is written, every tier 10 and super ship in World of Warships is available to be chosen. Each of those ships is assigned a point value. These point values are based on a variety of factors: the utility of the ship, the class of the ship, its perceived usefulness in a team comp and that sort of thing. Okay, and then teams may field no more than 100 points worth of ships in their lineup. That's the limit. You have 7 ships. You have to be at 100 points or below in the lineup you field. So in the heads-up display in the game, you'll see point values besides each of the ships, and those point values sort of represent like I said, the perceived or the assigned value of that ship. We'll talk more about flagships in a minute. There is an additional rule in this tournament about flagships, but since we're dropping into game 2, let's get to that in just a moment.
That might be more important, I agree.
We might want to talk about it in the game now that I'm looking and seeing that KSC has taken a flagship.
Again, they took a Petrie last game.
They took a Petrie last game. In this game, we're looking at Hitake in Annapolis. So Zath, like you did before, have a look at KSC's lineup. Let's talk. What do they got?
All right, so we already talked about the Annapolis. We've got King Viper in the Hindenburg again. Raiden and Lu Shun once more. This time we see Curious George in an L-Bonk with unique upgrade. Quicksilver in a Jinan range and torpedo build. Kari is now in a Howden Lu, and Aegis Wings is in the Steadfast Des Moines with unique upgrade. Howden Lu with unique upgrade as well. Fully optimized to Dutch oven, all the things. Raptor, what do we have to the south for ATFD?
ATFD coming into this game up a point, claiming game 1 on Warrior's Path, looking to seal the deal here on Hotspot. Fielding a 2-destroyer lineup, just like their opponents. Sayuki's Lushun here. Reload and Dazzle. Then you've got Yichu's Yu Yang. We saw this was used to good effect last game, although this time he's no radar on this ship. Going for the torpedo reload build.
I like that.
Not quite maximum torpedo reload build, but pretty damn close. We're seeing 5 cruisers, of course. Let's start with Yoru's Brisbane. We've seen a little bit of Brisbane, but this is the single most expensive ship in the ATFD lineup because of the HE and the 12-kilometer radar, and this is a full torpedo build. Brisbane.
It's almost as expensive as the Annapolis, the super ship that KSC brought.
It is indeed. Same as Usagami's Clausewitz here. Again, looking at reload and outnumbered, so expecting to play that flank all by himself, or certainly on a push, on a receiving end of a push side. Right on in a Goliath this time. Reload, not range. Probably makes sense given where it looks like they're going to position the ship. Palmono's Venezia, again running unique upgrade, not be able to achieve max concealment, playing well back of his friends here. And then all the way up forward here, Latest World and a unique upgrade, Howden Liu.
Cool. So we're going to have 2 Dutch ovenings on either side, just the whole game.
Teams breaking up into a 5-2 element from the south, and then it looks like we've got kind of a 3-4 split here that I'm seeing from KSC. Something along these lines.
Yes. Looks like they've put the Howden on the western side for now. This cap layout is very different.
Very different. This is Shatter with 3-cap Shatter. I'm not used to this. The other thing is that KSC has brought 2 radars, and ATFD only having the 1. They're popping their first Brisbane radar and are now able to see Shogun's Lushun locked in here behind this island. Knowing he's there, knowing they can't do anything about it, knowing they're going to surrender this cap.
Yep.
See the Annapolis. That's Latest World locked up on the Lushun Hydro. Excuse me, I said Annapolis. I think I'm in Howden Liu. Anyway, Hatake's Annapolis, though, back here trying to start farming him out with that high rate of fire. Howden Liu definitely a risk in this position.
Yep, and he's continuing to get Dutch oven from the other Howden Liu.
Well, and Raiden's Lushun going to get that too. But Latest already down to half HP and burning here.
Remember Howden Liu, because it's designated a large cruiser, it burns longer than a standard cruiser does. There's no fire prevention anymore, so it can burn in 4 locations at once. So what KSC is trying to do is to get the Howden to DCP. Once that happens, they're going to try to get him on sticky fire. There's the DCP.
Yep. The Howden Liu is a huge threat in this position. We got an AP salvo coming in from the Des Moines. They pushed him back just far enough. Not able to quite get it in there. Excuse me, I said Des Moines. It's the Hindi and the Des Moines.
They're hitting the rear.
Yeah, they're struggling a bit with that island lead.
But Latest has the next heal up and running already. So good job on using the heal there, but it's only a matter of time for him. I'm surprised the Elbe and Curious George isn't trying for fire since they know that Latest just DCP'd. Oof, decent hit there on Atake's Annapolis.
Yeah, the Annapolis is definitely getting chewed up. They know the value of that target. He's got some good island cover from the 4 ships south of them now. If KSC can focus out this Howden Liu Zap, then it looks like it's going to be possible. I think Hatake is going to spend a huge chunk of his game running for his life because they can't hold back this push, I think, on this side of the map.
Yeah, well, and that's why I was thinking HE from the Elbing, just get the fire going. Instead, he's going for his, unique upgrade, boosted AP salvos, which, I mean, they're not going to do much with the kind of angle that he's presented. There we go. There's the 2 fires, and that will do it. Latest World is going to be the first casualty of this game.
Yep, Howden Liu should go out here for ATFD. A really good job by Hatake. to seal this
Wait.
deal.
He's healing and DCPs in 2 seconds. I might have spoken. Never mind.
No, he did not going to quite make it. Close, but not quite going to make it. Now, that's a huge kill for KSC for a couple of reasons, right? The Hydro there was keeping Raiden locked in place. He wasn't able to escape that position without being spotted. Now he is free to move if he wishes.
Yes, exactly. So that's huge, and he needs that freedom right now, right? Because you've got a Venezia, a Yu Yang Lucian, and Brizzy all like just salivating.
Yep, the Brisbane radar going up. They want to see where Hatake is. Hatake's got his guns looking for the Venezia. Here comes the SAP. Not amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Hatake's starting in with the HE. The Venezia is not likely to give him a good angle here, but the HE can do amazing things at this reload speed. Look how quickly Palmono's going down. And now Palmono turns out. We get the funny button out of the Annapolis.
Funny button.
Oh, big hits on Palmono. Now Hatake down to 6K. His next heal is still 60 seconds away.
A minute away. He's gone.
They're going to be able to kill him, Zath, but man, did they get value out of this ship.
Yeah, they did get value. My concern, though, is that I don't understand why Curious George didn't try to smoke him earlier when he had the opportunity. They were right next to each other. And, you know, I'm concerned that as soon as Hatake goes down, there it goes. Now Curious George is kind of stuck. However...
Well, the Venezia is going to go out here in a moment. It's 100% going to happen. It's a question of how much health George has to give up to make this play. The answer is a bit, for sure.
A good chunk, yeah. Palmono went broadside to fire off those torpedoes, and he paid dearly for that.
He did. He took some Citadels up forward to that Elbing AP. As KSC now out to a one-ship lead, over 300 points and ticking here in Game 2, a game that they need if they're going to stay in this match. Usagami's Clausewitz making a play, Zath.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, the Elbing's unique upgrade, it gives 12% to maximum ship speed while engine boost is active. You get 6% to reload for main battery. This is slot 6, so that's less than if you went main battery mod. But you do get 100% main battery traverse speed.
Well, Usagami does succeed in knocking out King Viper, but I think it may yet still cost him his ship. He's going to try to duck behind the island here, but the Des Moines is not going to let it happen. Aegis getting the kill there. Torpedoes coming in on Aegis. He's going to take probably at least 2 of these.
He'll take 2.
But he is dark again, able to recover some of that HP.
Meanwhile, we haven't been talking much about the 9-10 line area, and we've got Ride On, Don't Swim's Goliath dealing with Quicksilver's Janan. Kind of feel like that's, you know, that untold story of the battle is those two just kind of, we exist.
It is a very odd duel over here, Zath. I mean, you know, Quicksilver basically just trying to make sure that he doesn't get slapped off the board by the Goliath and to just kind of hold him in place.
Right.
Now, ATFD has made a push here. They've moved in directly into A and capped it. They're trying to collect this kill on Aegis as he's in a duel with the Lushun.
Take a look at Curious George on the one line. He's fixing to charge. What?
This is actually an engagement that the Spa Cruisers are really good at, Zath. He ought to be able to murder Yichu without taking a significant amount of damage.
Let's
it's going to
find
depend
out.
on whether or not, well, I was going to say, whether or not Yichu loads the HE and loads the AP, and he does. But even now, George just has to give him a little bit of an angle, and this Yu Yang can't hurt him with torpedoes. He can't really hurt him with HE, Zath. He has to rely on the AP.
Right. Now, Elbing's got a pretty large turning radius, and his problem is he's showing a little bit too much that's allowing the AP shells to dig in, and he's going to go down here, I think.
I think he probably is, because now the HE into the superstructure's enough. Right there ought to do it. Yep.
And that was all AP, baby.
Zath. I like the play. Now, the Howden Liu, that's Akari. Looks like he's going to take some torpedoes. He's beached himself here, trying to dodge some of them. Actually, no. He's going to find a way through all of them if he can reverse even just a little bit, and he's got it.
That's impressive with all those torpedoes.
That is impressive with the cross-torping. Aegis is Des Moines crawling right up Sayuki's stern here.
I like
KSC
that.
smelling blood in the water. I think they realize how close they are to wiping ATFD off this side of the map. They're going to get Sayuki here in the next salvo or two. Brisbane single-fire torques coming in now for Akari. Those, on the other hand, are not going to miss.
No.
And Ikari will go down.
And we're tied up shipwise.
Still tied on ships as Aegis comes around the corner with the AP in the barrel. He has to be salivating, looking for this shot, Zap, and that's why. And that's exactly why. And that is gonna that salvo is gonna seal this game.
Yeah, yeah. And that means we go to a game 3.
I cannot see a way that ATFD is gonna get back into the ACAP now. Not with a mostly dead Yu Yang on the one line. The Goliath Janan duel is not gonna go anywhere.
I'm surprised that they're not sending Raiden to just go murderize the Yu Yang. You know, he's almost full health. He's got a heal at the ready. He's got radiolocation. He knows where the Yu Yang is. There he goes.
The one thing, Zath, that if I had to present first of all, I think KSC played a really, really good game. I think they reacted very well to what was happening to them, and they realized that ATFD was, you know, once they pushed into A, they just collapsed the Des Moines back into mid and used that, and Aegis played that engagement almost perfectly.
Yeah.
If I had to offer mild criticism, I feel like Raiden in the late game played too far off the cap.
Agreed. I would have really liked to have seen him helping his Elbing buddy instead of letting it be a 1v1. He was close enough to be able to help, and you heard my comment earlier about the Elbing smoking the Des Moines. Those are my 2 criticisms from what I saw. Mild criticisms, as you put, sir. Right.
I mean, obviously it worked, and you know, they used the Annapolis app. They got tremendous value out of it. The Annapolis almost 1v1'd the Howden Liu almost by himself completely, which is impressive when you get right down to it. Like, that's not easy what he did. And so huge props to both the American cruiser players here on KSC. Feels like that's really what sealed this deal.
When in doubt, just use Des Moines.
I mean, it works in King of the Sea. There's no reason it shouldn't work here in Warship Masters.
That's correct.
What does the game need, Zath? Look, if you're having a bad game, just add more Murica, and that usually will make you happier. F yeah. Time ticking away. Aegis may actually go down here after the point, but it doesn't matter. Time ticks over. They're gonna get the kill on right on. And that is the game.
And
so KSC ties things up at a game of pop. Love it.
Absolutely love it. Great game.
That was fun. That was fun to watch the kind of the theaters of action go back and forth.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Well, we're headed to game 3 in just a little bit as we head over to Hotspot.
You got it. I'm gonna go hit the head for a minute, just so we're ready in case we need to run after this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do me a favor, Zath. Before you walk away, put up the flagship screen, and I'm gonna explain that one while you're gone.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we talked earlier, guys, about the point values on the ships, right? The other mechanic that is somewhat unique to Warship Masters International is the idea of flagships. If you look at the text here on the screen over my left shoulder. What is happening is that there are a handful of ships on the list we looked at earlier, and I'll put it up again in a minute, that are designated as flagships. They still have a point value like every other ship, but over the course of the tournament, each of those ships can only be used twice. That's it. That's it. After that, you've got to plug something else into that lineup. And I think the acknowledgement here is that these are exceptionally strong, exceptionally powerful ships. And if you want to be using them, you should be using them in, I won't say extreme cases, but in cases where, you really want to win, you're really looking for that extra oomph to get you over the top, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put the point screen up real briefly on my stream so you can see them. The ships there highlighted in gray. That's 5 cruisers, 1 destroyer, and 2 battleships. Those are flagships. In our HUD, in our display, when we're showing you guys the game, those ships have a different colored health bar to make them very easy to pick out. There is actually a tracker available to us as the caster team that we can see which ships, which teams have taken which flagships and how frequently. And I'm actually going to go pull that up because there we go. I actually want to look at that.
By the way, it is in the link collection, so if you pull the link collection up, you can find that as well.
Okay, no worries.
No, that's just for
example.
Viewers.
Yep. So, for example, that last game we just watched was KSC's second use of Annapolis. So, no matter how many more games they play in the rest of the event, KSC can no longer field Annapolis the entire rest of the tournament. They used her twice. That's all you get.
Correct. They also can't use the Conde anymore. They're done with that.
which they have already used twice to get to this point in the tournament. Correct.
Now, by comparison, ATFD has used Annapolis and Conde only once, and they've used Vermont both times already. So they have more options at their disposal, which they're going to need because this is Game 3.
I'm looking to see if there are any teams. There is one team left in the event, Zap, that has not used a flagship even once. Do you see them on the list?
Yep, I see them on the list.
Them. That's right.
Them.
The old guys from that's Lair, right? The old Russian guys that moved over to the
Lair.
EU when the RU server. Yeah, Lair.
WND, we saw them too as their name.
Yep. They're the only team that has not used any kind of flagship whatsoever. Everybody else has done at least a little dabbling in that department. Now, this is a change from previous iterations of the event, right? Where you could take a flagship until it was sunk. Once the flagship was lost, you could no longer take it. You could no longer field it in future battles.
Right.
And it kind of incentivized teams to save their really good flagships until later stages of the event. Now it doesn't matter whether the ship lives or dies. You can only field it twice.
I like the change. I like how they include some regular ships as well as super ships that, quite frankly, we all know are very popular because they perform quite well. And so this is a very nice way to balance out the tournament and force teams to come up with multiple different compositions. If you're going to slot in an Annapolis, you can only plan on doing that twice. You're going to have to find something else and then go back to the points and figure out a comp that way. So it adds a lot of complexity to the situation, and timing is everything. Like I made the comment, ATFD, this is Game 3 for both teams. Both teams need to bring their best lineup they can field to this game because whoever loses is out of the tournament.
Right. We are in the losers bracket now. Any teams that lose down here are eliminated, so this is going to be a do or die for both of these teams as we head to Game 3.
Now, we haven't talked about the prizes at all much. I don't know if that's a scene for us.
It's
but
not.
They do. There is a page for prizes. It's just some doubloons and boosters. So yay, you get a captain too.
I thought there was cash in this event, Seth. Are you sure?
Well, at least I'm looking at the prizes list right now. I can go to the page and see if they list out the prizes for the players.
So
yes, you're right.
The players, yes.
On
so
top
there is
of
cash.
that,
there is a $10,000 USD cash prize pool for this event. First place getting $6,000, $1,800 for second, $1,400 for third, and $800 for fourth.
Got it. So that's on top of the prizes page that they have listed on their link collection as well. Okay.
Yep.
Not too shabby.
Ooh, Zath. I'm looking at that T-shirt too. They got a nice looking T-shirt. I have to go buy one of those. But look at that one.
T-shirts
I like the Warship. I like the Warship Masters logo. Right.
Wait, me too. Me too.
I've always liked this particular shade of blue and the gold. Like I like the logo they chose for this event. It looks really, really nice. It comes together well.
Since we're looking at the page and we're talking about it, just a reminder, check in on your drops if you haven't already done so. Remember, the drops today aren't as important. The drops tomorrow are very important. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I'm not getting drops, I'm getting drops, blah, blah, blah. I personally am at 68% of an hour and a half. I started watching my own channel, about 5 or 10 minutes into the stream. So just make sure you're getting progress on your drops. And again, this is not for today. This is for tomorrow to make sure you get your St. Vincent camo.
Friendly reminder, though, by the time you hear it, because you're 5 minutes in the past, the giveaway will probably have ended. But on my channel, in between games, we're doing giveaways over on my Discord. So please click the link, come on over, help yourself to some of Wargaming's free loot. It does me no good. I want to be rid of it.
The best thing about being a CCL is that we get to give away Wargaming stuff. We get to give out free stuff to the masses, to all of you, as a way of saying thanks for tuning in. And nothing makes us happier than when we give away a CC container and you draw a ship. I mean, that's what it's all about. So absolutely get in the giveaways. Stuff. Get in Raptors giveaways. I've got giveaways going as well on my channel. Get into both if you want. Exclamation point ticket over on my side on Twitch. And our mods are pulling at the end of each of the matchups. And as long as you've been active in chat recently enough, Puddin will find you. He will find you.
That's right.
And he will give you free stuff.
One more apology I think I have to make to my chat. I had not gotten an ad roll off after the last game, so there might have been an ad that played in the previous game. I apologize. I'll fix that going forward. I just remembered I needed to be doing that, so... It's early, guys. Is it 9 a.m. yet? It's not 9 a.m. yet here, so just cut us a little bit of slack this early, okay? I apologize.
Yeah, and remember, in instances where that happens, just open up the YouTube page if you want to catch the same exact streamer, myself or Raptor. Just open up our respective YouTube. I mean, it's like literally youtube.com/craptor, youtube.com/Lord Zath. I mean, come on.
It's pretty easy. Pretty easy to do. Actually, yeah, that's right. That'll do it. Yeah.
Pull up the live stream. Boom, you're right there back in the action, and you're not missing out on stuff while the ad is ticking. Guys, when ads are running on either of our channels, you're supporting us, okay? You're supporting us because we get 55% of essentially the ad revenue that Twitch generates from you watching that ad. Might not seem like much, but it does add up, so very much appreciated if you're sitting through me, sitting through Raptor, through ad breaks. Very much appreciate you guys for that. And, oh, did they just drop?
No, they're not.
Okay, because it's game 3, my guess is they're trying to hold to see if anybody else is going to come in. It looks like they're rating up. There might be another game 3 on the horizon. We'll find out.
And that's one thing I haven't gone to look at, Zaf. Let's have a quick peek. I'm gonna refresh the TTV overlay here.
It's all 1-0s. I haven't seen any updates yet besides that.
Okay, all right then.
I know. I've been looking. I'm like, all right, where's something to talk about? You know,
it's super not helpful, is it? Well, they went ahead and dropped, so I guess we are going on. Let's hit the button here. Let's go back to this screen. We're not going to Shatter. I've got that wrong. Hold on. As we head to Hotspot.
Hotspot, indeed.
All right, we're going to Hotspot. Still using the reversed.
You got it.
All right, South. One more time with feeling. Talk to me about the KSC lineup here as we head into this decisive game 3 on Hotspot.
Raptor, I get the feeling that KSC was watching some of the Chinese battles that you missed on Saturday.
My.
Made in German. Anyway.
Ooh, man, this is going to be interesting. Go ahead.
So, KSC is bringing with them Quicksilver in a Hindenburg, Raiden again in that Lu Xun, King Viper in another Hindenburg, Hatake in a Clausewitz, Aegis Wings in a Clausewitz, Warped Chaos in a Moskva saying, nope, I'm not taking a Clausewitz, and Blitz in a Clausewitz. Is it German? Yes, we want it. Is essentially the KSC lineup.
Yes, superior. This match could just be called Superior German Engineering, Zath. We'll see how it plays out for them, because the battleship that ATFD has chosen is, frankly, in my experience, Hindenburg's bloody kryptonite. That is Republique. Those 431mm guns are one of the reasons that I kind of quit playing Hindenburg so many moons ago, is because they would just pin you from just about any angle. Dear God, it was irritating. Now, the good news is, with that much HE coming in, they might be able to burn this Republique down. So we'll see how it goes. It's a 2-destroyer lineup here for ATFD. Yuchi's coming back in with the Trump, same build we've seen before. Sayuki now in a Grozovoy, headed for the 10 line, backed up by Rydon in a Novosibirsk. This is a flagship option there. You see in the gold bar, running. He's running top grade gunner. Backed up kind of by latest world's Colbert here. We've seen Colbert on this map quite a bit. This is a range Colbert, not a reload Colbert. So latest world looking to arc all the shells over all of the things. Headed mid, we've got Palmono's Howden Liu, unique upgrade. We saw that earlier. We looked at the Trump. Yordu's defense, looks like he and the Trump have been designated to play Bravo cap duty. And the Republique, we mentioned earlier, Usagami going to hang mid. Now this Usagami's got heavy AP and fire prevention, Zath. So, man, if I'm a German cruiser, I'm not excited to see that ship on the opposing lineup.
No. So he's definitely taking all the I don't wish to burn, thank you very much.
Yeah. His first salvo going in on the Moskva, which is well spotted here, diving the cap, getting some good damage there.
The bigger issue is the Howden Liu sitting right there, almost perfectly set up for these Dutch ovenings. You know what,
Zath, as I'm looking at this, I'm just realizing that, there comes the Novosibirsk radar. They can see now a huge chunk of the KSC fleet. They've got a pretty good idea of what they're up against.
I like this idea, though, of just, we're going to go in and we're going to bully whatever. It almost feels like you know, back in the day of like all Des Moines comps and stuff, just full DPM and go.
This many Clausewitzes and Zath ought to make an absolute hash of this Howden Liu. If he lives more than 60 seconds right here, I'm going to be shocked.
Now, he does have his DCP available, and with the Novosibirsk coming in on the side, it's going to force the Clausewitz to start breaking up. You can see that happening already, as you're going to have to make that difficult decision of who do you angle against. But DCP has been used, Pomono is out in moments, and now they can angle to one target.
Yep. He lasted 28 seconds by my count. From the time when I said something.
Spreadsheet says he's having fun.
Indeed. Well, now with all that, KSC up a ship here, but a little slow to get onto the A-cap for whatever reason. Quicksilver's Hindenburg now just arriving. Looks like he went the long way around to make sure he didn't get spotted. Correct,
and they dove Lushun into the middle so they can get that extra spotting. They wanted to know what the Republic is going to do, and frankly, if there's a defensor, Novosibirsk, with its really poor concealment, they wanted to catch that too.
Now, have a look at Aegis's Clausewitz. Is he going to keep moving, or is he going to hold up that? I'm curious. He's holding up.
It's best if the three Clausewitzes reform and push together. So my guess is, yeah, he's going to slow down and wait, and he doesn't want to get punched in the face either by the Repub.
They've done a really good job of whittling away the health on this Novosibirsk as well, Zath, down under half HP, ticking his first heal back there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hiyoshi's Clausewitz does not seem interested in reforming with his teammates. I think, Zath, maybe they're thinking about pincering the Novosibirsk here? Two to the south, one to the north?
They could. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. That's why
one.
But I don't know.
We'll find out.
They have rock solid control of C. There's just no way for any of these ships to get in there, any of the ATFT ships to get into that cap. Right.
Now, you've got King Viper with the long-range arcing shots over on the Novosibirsk, and obviously, the German HE doesn't really care about, deck armor because it's got 1/4 HE pen, and it will pen 50 millimeters of armor. But, I feel like Hatake's in a position now he's going to have to stop, and he's just going to get chewed up by the Colbert and possibly Grosvoy torpedoes.
Yeah, Hatake is going to get chewed up here. I think they're going to lose him at some point. I think they moved up to try to keep the Novosibirsk on Hydro to try to secure that kill.
Yeah.
And now I think having done that, they're going to lose Hatake.
Right, and King Viper's even leaving. What?
Now, Hatake is going to dodge the torpedoes, but that is a whole lot of Colbert pain coming in still.
Right. Meanwhile, Usama Gumi's Repub is just salivating at these two Clausewitzes that are starting to show themselves. Here's that first salvo.
Hatake trying to get back into cover, but I don't know where he's going to go. They're starting to try and get the focus fire on Usagami. If they can get the Republic off the board, Zath, I feel like they're going to be in a really good spot, even if they lose Hatake. Hatake is now dark.
He is dark, and his heal's available in 30-odd seconds. Nope, he's visible again. Blitz now getting punched in the face.
I think he took a torpedo there, or was that a shell? I couldn't tell.
That was a shell. That was a shell.
It definitely took a Repub salvo right there. Because now he's going to take some Tromp bombs.
And here's where having a third Clausewitz would have meant dead Republic already.
Yeah, Hatake is going to go down here in just a moment. He's locked up on the Novosibirsk Hydro. There he goes. ATFD climbing back into the game with a kill. They might yet get Ix. They're desperately trying to farm out this Republic before it happens. But Usagami's still in the game. You almost get the sense, Zath, that maybe KSC pushed a little too far too quickly.
Well, yeah, and like I said, they said, do we want to go for Republic or do we want to go for Novosibirsk? And the meme came up, why not both?
They are going to trade for the Republic. That's not a bad trade, in my opinion, because getting the Repub off the board really frees up Ix's Clausewitz and Warp's Moskva.
Yes, it does, but you still have the Novosibirsk where it is. King Viper
Yeah.
dove down to try to get those shots, but he's paying dearly for it.
They're going to lose Viper now.
That's exactly right.
in a-
So he's taking
he's
the
in a
place on the
3-on-1.
firing line.
Yeah, he's in a
So-
3-on-1.
It's just kind of a feels bad moment as Rydon just moves forward a little bit.
With that said, Yuchi made a bit of an error back here. He grounded himself on this island, and he's going to pay the price for it.
On radar,
He's having
yep.
to reverse. He's going to go out right here.
It's a huge kill.
So KSC back up a ship as Quicksilver's Hindenburg has slowly, steadily pushed down the 3 line, trading bloody blows with Yori's defense. And sooner or later, they're going to be able to rotate somebody into that B cap.
The enemy is about to win.
Yep.
There goes the Hindenburg. There goes King Viper on the 9 line.
So here's the problem that the Clausewitzes are going to face. Well, there's only one left.
Yeah,
That's your problem.
that's your problem. Although, admittedly, I still feel like they've traded this very well. KSC is still in the driver's seat of this match, Seth, right? The health pools are still fairly even. The entirety of ATFD's health is basically on the 9 line. If you're Yori's defense, you're looking to trade. If he can take Quicksilver with him, that is a good trade for ATFD. I think he might actually do it.
Double fire.
No, the engine is out.
Maybe?
Those
No,
aren't
it's
burning.
just-
Or no, it was healing.
Those are fires. Those are double fires.
But his heel
he's
was
healing.
keeping up with it.
Correct.
And so now the inability, man, it was close, but KSC is
was.
going to own all the caps here in a moment. That's going to be tough.
Warp Chaos now pushing around with the Moskva, but Blitz is
I like
still by himself. He's going to take a 3-on-1 now. He needs to get behind the island to his right.
He does. ATFD has to try and make this play. They have to sell the farm to try to get this kill to stay in the game. They're 60 seconds from a loss here in an elimination game in Game 3.
Now, the problem is, he's going to get behind the island, and that leaves Raiden Shogun all by himself in the Lu Shun, and you
Yeah,
can see what's
Raiden
already
has
happened
to-
to him.
Well, Raiden is going to get some hug cover here as well. They don't even have visibility on him anymore.
Right.
Ix now trapped in the middle of the map. I think they're going to get this kill too, Zath.
I think they're going to
really
get both,
do.
frankly. There's going to be a time extension as they get Blitz, and they
I'm not
should have enough
convinced they're
time.
going to get Raiden. They're going to get Blitz. I'm not convinced they're going to get Raiden. We'll see how it goes.
Heal going
Blitz
up on
now
Blitz.
Makes
DCP,
it to a heal,
and dead.
but not enough. Warped Chaos now repositioning, trying to hopefully catch the Novosibirsk, who he's got locked up on Hydro for a bit longer, another 5 seconds or so. Now, if Shogun trades here, that's not a terrible play.
He's not
But
going
the
to
Lucian
trade.
Deepwater Torps means he's not going to trade. He does dodge the
Oh.
entire first salvo of Torps.
Very
and
good
the
dodge.
Second.
And the
Well
second.
done.
Wow.
And he's got the AP going, Zap. Look at him murdering this Grozovoy broadside
He's
with
going
AP. He's going
to
get
win.
it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow. Brilliant play from Raid there. I'm not even sure the grounding was intentional, but damn, did it work out. 10 seconds here
Absolutely.
from a KSC win.
That went from they've got a glimmer of hope to nyet.
Absolutely not. Her hero play there from the KSC Lushun seals the deal here, Zaf. They're staying alive in the losers bracket.
That's right. Buy that man a beer.
Yeah. Buy him a case. He earned it. Damn, just that one engagement alone.
Ooh, all right. Well, KSC advances, and with that,
Yeah.
ATFD is done for the tournament. Great showing by both teams.
Absolutely. KSC with the reverse sweep, staying alive.